चैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदामयं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगुणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साधुवैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगुणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So, just reading the translations of the two verses. While traveling, the demigod passed over the forest known as Sugandhika, which is full of varieties of flowers, fruits, and desire trees. While passing over the forest, they also saw the region of Yaksheshwara. And text 29, in that celestial forest there were many birds whose necks were colored reddish and whose sweet sounds mixed with the humming of the bees. The lakes were abundantly decorated with the crying swans as well as strong stem lotus flowers. So this chapter is related to Brahma with the demigod visiting the abode of Lord Shiva when Lord Shiva army had actually declared a war over Daksha when Sati had left the body when she was dishonored in the sacrificial arena which Daksha had arranged. And the war was taking a very furious form because the army of Shiva cannot be defeated. Nobody knows what is the strength of Shiva because he is a direct devotee of the Lord. And Krishna makes a special arrangements for his devotees. And Shiva is the purest devotee of Lord Krishna. So it was very difficult, and Brahmaji and Vishnu did already know that this is going to happen. So they had not participated in that sacrificial arena. However, when the demigods wanted that to get an end, they were requesting Brahma, and Brahma along with them started to go to Lord Shiva's abode. And this is the beauty of Kailash being described here while they are reaching the abode of Lord Shiva. So the description here talks about the beauty in terms of what we try to enjoy as a material beauty. The variety of the flowers, the fruits, the trees associated or mentioned here, the opulences of Yaksheshwara, who is the treasurer of the demigod, which is the riches or the money, is normally what we all desire in our life for our material pleasure. So in this world, most of the people are running behind money because with money, people can purchase those objects with which they can gratify the senses. The problem in this material world is that even spending the money, people are not able to get the objects with which they are able to satisfy their senses. So people may purchase, expensive flowers, but those flowers are genetically modified to just look beautiful. If we smell, we don't have a nice smell in the flowers. Now, the purpose of the flowers is not just the looks. The purpose of the flower is also the smell. However, in today's world, we don't find it, especially in the material world. People like to eat opulent and tasty food. However, they don't get that. They try to eat. They eat it for some time. There's a problem in the body. There's a problem in the stomach. We reject that food. Now, after some time, when the health is back, the appetite is built, we again run for the same food. And after eating, we realize that that food is not that good and we look for something else. So this is what is happening in the material world, that we are running behind the objects which gives sensual pleasure. However, even after trying so many things, we do not get the pleasure. People are frustrated with their relationship. People are frustrated with their jobs. People are frustrated with their families. People are frustrated with the society they are living in. People are frustrated with the government. People are frustrated with their cars and their insurance policies. In fact, everybody is frustrated for everything which they have. And in spite of that, nobody wants to leave any of those things with which they are frustrated. That is our problem. It is said that when one aligns their senses with the senses of Krishna, the life is very simple. One accepts the process of the Krishna consciousness. The biggest hurdle in accepting Krishna consciousness is considering Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We as devotees have a tendency to give Krishna the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and say, oh, that is Goloka, that is Krishna's abode, but then we have our own abode, which is our home or our workplace or the area where we have the impact on. That means that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but along with that, we are also a controller. That means we have a false ego, that we are the controller in a small limited area. That is not true Krishna consciousness. The real Krishna consciousness is to accept only and only Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and align everything for his pleasure. The abode, which is mentioned here of Lord Shiva, which is the Kailash, is said that it is being jeweled, it has a very good amount of the natural resources available. It is very, very beautiful place, like we are seeing, the forest of Sugandhiga, we have the variety of flowers, we have the variety of fruits, we have the all variety of the desired trees even which are in the Goloka Vrindavan. So the desired trees are mentioned in the Brahma Samhita. It's referred here. In the Brahma Samhita, there is a verse which says, Chinta Mani Prakarata Samad Sukalpa Vriksha. So these Kalpa Vriksha are the desired trees. These desired trees are so powerful that they can fulfill all the material and the other desires which an individual has. Such trees are also present in Shiva's abode. That means Shiva's abode is blessed by Lord Krishna. There's no doubt about it. Kailash is the expansion of Krishna's abode. And it has all the opulences, it has all the objects for the sense gratification. The previous verse we were talking about in the last few classes was talking about that how the various elephants and other she elephants are coming, they are bathing in those sarovars, and everybody was in a mood to enjoy the sexual relationship even. Now the question is that if those old things are going on in the heavenly planets, then what's the use of going there? The understanding, the scriptures learning is that the heavenly planets to have all the material opulences that we have in this material world, and the enjoyment level is way too high when we are in the heavenly planets. Now, does that mean a person is in Krishna's consciousness? The answer is no. A person can be in Krishna consciousness anywhere, doesn't matter whether the person is in the material world or the person is in the spiritual world. The utilization of whatever the resources one is getting decides whether a person is a Krishna conscious person or a person is not a Krishna conscious person. The activities which are performed, if seen from outside, can never be deciding whether a person is an advanced devotee or not. A person who is not a Krishna conscious, he might be even an atheist, also eat food. A devotee eats food too. When we are eating, nobody can make out a difference whether a person who is eating a food is a devotee or whether the person is eating a food is a non-devotee. There are vegans who, what to talk about meat, they don't even take animal products because they say that those products are coming out of the animals because of the injuries to the animals. They are done in a horrified condition. So we will reject those. In a way, those people are more concerned about other living entities. So they are more compassionate even than the devotees. But that is the external observance. The internal observance is what it makes a person a devotee. What is that? It makes an activity as a spiritual activity or a non-spiritual activity. The underlying fact is that everything should be used in service of Krishna for Krishna's pleasure. That is what is the devotional service means. Anya abhilashita shunyam. There is no other desire. That is mentioned in Bhakti-Siddhanta Sindhu. Anya abhilashita shunyam, no other desire. Derived of the Karma Khanda and Jnana Khanda. The service should be favorable to Krishna and should be done in a loving way. Then it is a devotional service. If we are doing for our pleasure or for some other motive, that is not Krishna consciousness. So a person might be eating and relishing the food for the taste, and a devotee might be eating a similar food by offering it to Krishna and accepting the remnants of Krishna. Now, Krishna says that if you want to eat something, you first offer it to me. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. So we eat fruit, flowers, leaves, water, whatever we eat, of course, excluding the non-vegetarian items. We offer the food to Krishna and then we eat. So that is the underlying difference. A person, when cooking a food for Krishna, might be thinking of what Krishna likes, what kind of taste I should put, what kind of spices I should add. That is how we serve somebody else, by keeping in the mind their taste. That means while cooking food, I am totally concentrating on Krishna. So thinking of Krishna is what Krishna consciousness is. Never forget Krishna and always remember Krishna. So while cooking food, the person is cooking for Krishna. After the food is cooked, the person is offering the food to Krishna. After the food is offered, the person is eating prasadam of Krishna. So in this whole process, there is not a single moment where a person has forgotten Krishna. The person is totally remembering Krishna throughout the entire process. Not from the process of making the food, even from the thought process that what I should cook. I should cook pizza because I like it and offer it to Krishna as a devotional service. That is true, but it is not at the purest level. It is like making Krishna as an offering machine. We cook the bhoga, we offer it to Krishna, and then we relish the taste of prasadam as pizza. A truly person is in the devotional service. For him, it doesn't matter whether you give him a pizza, whether you give him some vegetable which the person doesn't like. It does not matter. Everything is equally tasteful. That is what is prasadam eating is. But it is not wrong still to offer the food which we like, because as a practicing devotees, we are having the tendencies to have some sense gratification, but we are dovetailing it. That was the beauty of Srila Prabhupada, that he has given us the process wherein we can dovetail all our material activities to spiritualize them. And that is what we are doing. And by doing, we are still getting the same benefit as somebody else is doing in the pure devotional service. However, by gradually performing those activities, the purity level will increase, and that is what we are trying to achieve in our day-to-day sadhana. The whole purpose of reading Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole purpose of chanting, the whole purpose of doing our various sevas in the temple, the whole purpose of our preaching, the whole purpose of our hearing the lectures, and the whole purpose of doing any activity is to increase our purity in our sadhana. The purity in our sadhana will gradually come by performing the sadhana. That is the process of the Krishna consciousness. The more you chant, the more you develop the taste for Krishna consciousness. The more you develop the taste for Krishna consciousness, the more purely you chant. And more purely you chant, more purely you will like to chant. That is what Srila Prabhupada says, the goals and the means are same. The goal is to obtain the pure love for chanting Krishna conscious name, the holy name. And then the means is chant the holy names of the Lord. So the underlying fact of making the description of the abode of Kailash, about the Lord Shiva, which is Kailash, here is that Yes, whatever is here in this material world is actually present in all the heavenly planets. There is no doubt about that. It's always said that this material world is a reflection of Krishna. However, the utilization is totally different. Although there are fabulously rich, living places, they are very much desired by the, very much fulfilled by the desired trees. They are having jewels. They are having all the riches. They are having the beauty of nice flowers, very palatable, tasty fruits. It is also having very nice lakes, very beautiful, swans singing in that, the sound of the humming bees and the chirping of the birds and the colorful birds. We all get sensual pleasures by observing those objects here in this material world. When we see or experience those kind of environment, it transforms us for an appetite of a sexual relationship. Ultimately, that is the highest pleasure defined in this material world. However, it doesn't happen in the spiritual world. On the contrary, in the spiritual world, having these sense objects are not for the gratification of their own senses, but they are being offered to the Lord. And by offering those objects to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the senses of the person or the devotee also gets satisfied. I talk about this example that if the devotees are being invited by someone for prasadam, the devotees would be very happy to get being served and honor the prasadam. However, if the same devotee would invite other devotees at their home and cook the prasadam and offer them according to their taste and their choice, by making them satisfied, the amount of pleasure which the devotee will get in serving is much more than the amount of pleasure they get in by being served. And it's not applicable to devotees, it's applicable to everybody else. Recently, Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami was visiting Atlanta. I was having a good fortune to get the association of Guru Maharaj, Mercy and other Vaishnavas, and we happened to go to Adi Gadadhar Prabhu's home with Guru Maharaj, and he was serving Guru Maharaj. Now there, when the devotees were there, their pleasure was to serve Guru Maharaj and other devotees who were following with Guru Maharaj. They were not interested to eat the prasadam for themselves. In fact, they did not even eat till the time everybody left, because they wanted to make sure the service should be done in a very right way, in a very devotional way, to the satisfaction of the devotees they have invited to their home for serving them. That is what is Krishna consciousness is. They did not ask anybody that please invite us so that we can go somewhere and eat prasadam or have the association of Maharaj, but they invited Maharaj to their home because the real Krishna consciousness is to serve. Not to satisfy our own senses, but to satisfy other senses. We can satisfy the senses of Krishna through the senses of devotees as well. Krishna says that you serve my devotees is better than serving Krishna. Krishna is more favorable to the devotees who serve the devotees of Krishna rather than serving Krishna himself. And to that, I remember a story. There was a Muni who was meditating in the forest, and that Muni was trying to meditate on Krishna, chanting mantras so that he can take the darshan. And he was doing for quite some time, and there was a thief who used to pass through and see this Muni always sitting in that sadhana and, remembering Krishna, but he couldn't understand what he was trying to do. So the thief knocked at the door of the Muni one day and asked him, what you're trying to do? And he said that I'm trying to take darshan of Krishna by meditating, by doing the mantra, I'm trying to please him. And he said that it's been so many days, you did not get him. Can you tell me how Krishna looks like? And then the Muni gives him the description of Krishna, that he is a bluish colored, cloud colored personality with a peacock feather. He looks like a cow taker, wearing a yellow dhoti, decorated with ornaments. He has a flute and so on and so forth. To just give quite a detailed description of Krishna to this thief. And this thief makes a pledge that, okay, I'll not drink water, I'll not eat anything, and I will try to find your Krishna within the next few days, and I will not accept anything, not even water, till the time I find Krishna. And this guy went into the forest to look for Krishna. After 2 days, he was able to find Krishna. He put Krishna in a bag, carried him on his back, not completely tight, but in a way that Krishna cannot run out of the bag, and at the same time Krishna can comfortably breathe and stay there. And he carried Krishna on his back and bring it to this Muni. And the Muni was surprised to see that he has been meditating, doing the sadhana for years, following all the regulative principles, following everything, and he was not able to get the darshan in this thief who have never even thought about Krishna, never chanted Krishna, never actually did any devotional service. On the contrary, he was stealing. He was not following the regulative principles. He was trying to steal wealth from others and everything for his own purpose, was able to get Krishna. And then Muni was very surprised, and he asked Krishna, why that is happening. The Krishna replied that you were trying to meditate not to please me, but to please yourself. Your objective was not whether I am pleased to give darshan to you or not. Your objective was not to find out what Krishna wants out of that Muni. The sole purpose of that Muni was to take the darshan of Krishna because he wanted to get the darshan of Krishna. Now, that is very nice because it's a spiritual thought, but in a true Krishna conscious thing, anya abhilashita shunyam. Where there is a desire, there is not Krishna consciousness. Having spiritual desire is not incorrect. Having the desires to serve the devotee is not incorrect. But this is a learning of the philosophy through the analogy that what a pure devotee is. It's not that the person is not progressing in the Krishna consciousness. He is progressing. Ultimately, he will reach because he is a developing devotee. That's fine. But the underlying fact of us being here is to understand the pure devotee, pure devotional service. And Krishna said that your objective was not to please me. Your objective was to please Krishna. That is the reason I was taking time to see that how much sincerity and purity you have to serve me. If you are taking my darshan to serve me, makes sense. However, this thief did not have any personal motive to take and capture me. The only purpose of this thief was to make you happy and serve a devotee, whether knowingly or unknowingly. He was very much compassionate to a living entity, seeing that you are trying to get Krishna and you are not able to get Krishna, and seeing your dedication, he got inspired to help you out. That means he is a das and a das. He is a servant of a servant who is a servant to Krishna. And that's what Krishna demonstrated, that he is more subservient to the das and the das and the das. If we try to follow those principles, then Krishna is more pleased. If we fulfill the desires of the devotees, then Krishna is more pleasing. So the material opulences which are there in the spiritual world are to help us to utilize them for sense gratification of Krishna, rather than we use them in our own sense gratification purposes. For that is the reason that we are here in the material world. So the example I was giving that, when we visited the devotee's home along with Guru Maharaj made everybody sit together and eat prasadam. He was not eating by himself. Everybody was executing the orders of Srila Gurudev. They were sitting there and they were honoring prasadam. They were getting the same prasadam as Guru Maharaj was getting. They were also getting the same taste as Guru Maharaj was getting. Now, this point I am stating here is that by being in the association of the devotees of Krishna or in the association of Krishna, the servants do also get the same treatment as the master. So, if we are trying to make the spiritual master happy, if we are trying to make Krishna happy, it's not that we don't become happy. Even by serving, we get served also. So there is no loss. Most people have feeling that if they accept the devotional process or process of Krishna consciousness, they would not be eating anything. They would not be doing anything fun in their life. What to talk about living a normal life? They will be performing as charity. Don't eat that. I was watching a video on a social media the other day where they were showing a couple And then the husband was working and had a colleague with him traveling who was hungry, and he offered the colleague to come to his home. And when the person come to the home, the person was very surprised to see that this person who is a Hare Krishna has a wife. And he says, "You guys married?" He said, "Yes." "What do you mean? We are staying together as a husband and wife. We are not in this relationship." So this person was very surprised to see that Hare Krishna married. And she said actually, that I didn't know that Hare Krishna married. I just know that Hare Krishna people convert to brahmacharis. And then she started giving an example of a brahmachari who was an IITian and then left everything. And he said, that's a waste of time, waste of resources. The person acquired so much of knowledge, and then he stopped using that knowledge, and he's not doing anything good. And then the devotee said, he's doing even better job. He's now preaching Krishna consciousness. He is able to connect to the people who are even at the level of IIT, because he has that prior knowledge. So he is able to connect, and connecting them at that level, he is able to deliver the message of Krishna consciousness, which is much more valuable than an IIT education. IIT education can just give us a hope that we will be able to make money. There are a lot of IITians who are engineers and are not having jobs. So what is the use of that IITian if he doesn't have a job? The objective of being an IITian is to make money. That is the material concept. Even a dog gets the food. So what are we hankering for? Our objective of earning money is the same, that we all get the sensual pleasures with the objects of the senses satisfaction, and with money we can buy that. That's the reason a person gets into IIT. So when she asked for something to eat, the wife bought some pizza. And she said that, "Oh, you guys eat even pizza?" So the devotee said, "What's wrong in eating pizza?" "Yes, of course, we can cook something without onion and garlic, offer it to Lord and honor everything. There is no harm in eating pizza." So the person who was visiting the house of the devotees was chit-chatting with them and telling them that, they didn't even know that even after becoming a Hare Krishna, the life is still so enjoyable, and there's no difference in the life of a normal person versus a devotee. Of course, there are certain regulative principles to be followed, which even a lot of people not being Krishna consciousness would be following. A well-educated social family will always tell their kids not to gamble. That is one of the regulative principles. Even from the health perspective, the doctors would say don't indulge in multiple relationship with other partners. The biggest fear is of HIV. That is, stop illicit sex. A lot of doctors recommend don't eat meat. Meat is causing cancer. It's a cruelty to animals. For your own self, don't eat meat. So that is not eating non-veg. And then everybody talks about that, smoking kills. Drinking is harmful for the health. Don't indulge into intoxication. So 4 regulative principles are not just what ISKCON is saying. The 4 regulative principles are very much applicable to the non-devotees also, even if they are not following Krishna consciousness. However, the point is that people are very afraid joining the movement or following Krishna consciousness because they think that they will lose their happiness. Indirectly, the happiness level increases. When we get connected to the spiritual master, our happiness gets increased. When people are serving Guru Maharaj, their Guru Maharajas, or some special devotees, when we have guests at our home, we might make many preparations. How many times do we make multiple preparations for ourselves? We might make 1 or 2, the one which we like, but we do not make a chapan bhog for ourselves. We make a chapan bhog for the Lord. And when we honor the prasadam, we also enjoy the chapan bhog. Are we making it for ourselves? No, we are making it for Krishna. Is it a devotional service? Yes, it is a devotional service. Ultimately, at the end, we are eating nice food. So, the enjoyment level increases by connecting to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By connecting to Krishna, we actually increase our pleasure, and at the same time, we also get the benefit of the spiritual service. So the beauty of Kailash describes here that whatever we have in our material world is actually a portion of what is present in the heavenly planets, and what is present in the heavenly planet is a portion of what is present in Goloka Vrindavan. So, if mathematically we try to equate this, what I'm trying to say is the material sources which are available to us in the material world with which we are trying to get the sense gratification, and we are very, very happy by consuming those resources, and we feel very accomplished at the end of the day that yes, I was able to eat a nice meal in so-and-so restaurant with my partner whom I preferred, or maybe my wife or family or boss or whosoever. If we try to do that in the heavenly planets, it's much more palatable. If we do it as a spiritual service, spiritual benefit is there. If we do it as a material service to ourselves, it's much more enjoyable. However, there is no difference. We'll come back to the same material world where we have the four miseries, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. In old age, we cannot enjoy food. How many people have seen old people eating nice palatable food? They have digestion problems, they don't have teeth, they cannot digest the food, they cannot eat at late night, they cannot, take certain kind of diets because they are having some problem, because of the diabetes or whatever. They cannot enjoy. During the time of the birth, after the birth, a child cannot enjoy anything. He is totally on the mercy of the parents. He cannot even tell that I am feeling cold or I need a fan. If the parents feel the child is feeling cold, they will put on 2 jackets. It doesn't matter whether the child needs the jacket or not. Nobody cares for the child. Just give him. He will cry. Nobody will know why he's crying. The mother will go just and feed the milk to the child. Whether he wants the milk or he doesn't want the milk doesn't matter. Because the mother thinks the child wants the milk, the child has to accept the milk. If the child wants to sleep or not doesn't matter. Mother will take the child to the bed and make him sleep. So where is the independence? Where is the enjoyment? Same applies to the old age. There is no enjoyment. Same applies when we are sick. We cannot enjoy if the person is sick. We can't eat nice food. And when we are in misery, even then also we cannot enjoy. If we have a loss in our business, we lose the job, we have a fire in our home, or the accident happens to our car, we cannot go and party out. So where is the enjoyment? What enjoyment are we talking about here? The only enjoyment which we are talking about here might be a few moments in the 24 hours for which we were like ass and cows, and at the end of that, we enjoy a little pleasure, and after enjoying the pleasure, it goes away just in a moment of time. It doesn't last. The beauty of the spiritual world is whatever we do lasts forever, and still people are not inspired to do that. Now, here, Krishna's abode, or Lord Kailash's abode, is having everything, and the enjoyment is much more multiplied than what we have here. The beauty of the flowers, the smell of the flowers, the taste of the fruit, the beauty of the woman, everything is 1,000 times, million times more enjoyable and better than what we have here. Now, in spite of that, the residents of those places are not attracted by those sense gratifications. They are attracted at how they can serve that for Krishna, how they can serve that to their Lord. And by serving to their Lord, to their Master, to their Guru, they get the pleasure of their own sense gratification also. Just like it is said that when a mother feeds the child and the child is happy, the mother says, I am satisfied. Now, how does a mother can be satisfied by getting the child satisfied? The underlying cause is the loving relationship between the child and the mother. The child will not get satisfied if the mother eats, but the mother will get satisfied if the child is happy. Because the reciprocation from the child is not as strong as the mother has for the child. And that is our relationship with Krishna. Krishna has much more loving affection to us than we have for him. That is why when we feed Krishna, we don't feel that happy. But if we get fed ourselves as a prasadam, Krishna gets more happier. Krishna is like a mother, we are like a child. However, the point is that if we are in this world, or if we are in heavenly planets, or if we are in Golok Vrindavan, the objective is always try to serve Krishna. By serving Krishna, we get the pleasure. The material objects, the sense gratification objects, are for pleasures of Lord. We can perceive the happiness through them. The only problem is if we directly receive the happiness through the sense gratification process, the duration of that happiness is not that long. Second thing, we do get the reactions. We do get the karmic reactions of the activities. But if we get involved in the devotional service and try to satisfy the senses of Krishna, the happiness is eternal, because the object of sense gratification is eternal. When we are making a building on a ground and the ground goes away, the building will go away automatically because the base has gone. Our base is to get the sense gratification through the temporary objects. That's why the sense gratification is temporary. A person is able to enjoy the woman till the time the woman is available. The moment the woman is gone, the enjoyment is gone. Till the time the food is in the plate, we eat, we enjoy. The moment the food is passed through the half of the tongue, the taste is gone. After that, we do not know what we are eating. It's just something which is going inside. That's why we keep the medicines at the back portion of our tongue, so that we don't get the bitter taste of the medication. And when we drink water and it goes below our throat, nobody knows what's the taste of the medication. They cannot say the medication was sweet or sour because nobody even tried to do that. And that happiness is gone as soon as the object of satisfying the senses is gone. In the heavenly planet, the duration is long, but it has an end. In Golok Vrindavan, everything is eternal. So the object of senses is eternal, the sense gratification is eternal, Krishna is eternal, the devotees are eternal, the service is eternal, the happiness is eternal. So that should be our aim, that by following the process of Krishna consciousness, these material objects are there to beautify the Krishna's abode, the abode of Kailash. We should be getting inspired to see that, if we go to those planets, we are not going to lose anything, rather we are going to gain a lot of things. If our objective is the sense gratification and happiness, better do it in the spiritual world rather than doing it here. Because here, it's not permanent. Here, it's giving a karmic reaction. In the spiritual world, we are doing the devotional service, still we are getting happy, and then we are out of the cycle of birth and death. That is the whole purpose of getting connected to Krishna consciousness and serving Lord. The underlying fact of description of the abode of Lord is not to tell how rich He is to let us know that what we are having has no value of what Krishna is trying to take us to. What our Guru is trying to take us to has no value compared to where we are going from where we are, but we are not very happy to leave what we have in this material world. So the request is that we should understand that, take this message that by adopting the devotional service process, we are going to get multiple billion and million times of pleasure, which is everlasting, than to what we have right now. So with that note, I'll stop here and ask for forgiveness to anyone if I have misstated anything, or if somebody would like to add anything, or may have any question or a comment. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanat Pranam. Glory to Krishna, Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. You presented very nicely. It's ultimately everything what we practice. Our practice will be pure devotional service, and then we eternally get that result. It's very nicely presented. I don't have any question. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. If the devotee have any question or comment, they can go on.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for your inspiration. I just tried to express what I have learned through my Guru and other devotees, so just trying to articulate that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much for your valuable association. Dhanvat Pranam. Jai Shri Radhe.
Thank you, Mataji, for giving me an opportunity to do my self-purification. Thank you so much.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
So anybody else has any question or a comment? Okay, so I consider that there is no question or comment. So thank you everybody. Vancha kalpa tarabhasya kripa sindhuva eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Nanda Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai, Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai.
Thank you.
Simply our obeisance to and all the devotees, Vancha kalpa tarabhasya kripa sindhuva eva cha